The American stock market is going to dump and crypto is going to pump. What? Has that ever happened before? Can the stock market die and crypto just pump on its own? I'm going to prove it to you in these windows behind me. You thought it was crazy in 2020. You thought it was crazy when there were lockdowns and shutdowns and everyone went out of business. This is absolute just mayhem. One screen at a time, let's dive into why crypto is going to pump really hard without stocks. And everyone in the Western world, England, France, even Spain, America, definitely Canada, is going to be hurting. And what you've got to do, oh my God, this is painful just to even talk about, but you're going to need to know this to get rich. So crypto had this really weird pump on August 24th. In this chart, I'm going to show you the line. You see this? This is August, can you see this? This is August 24, right here. It says August 23 my time just because I'm in Asia. But we had this pump, and then we had an even bigger pump. We had a little dip, but then ever since then, we've only been going up. You see, it's just weird. We've only been going upward since then. You know what happened August 24th that nobody knew? That the entire Western world was keeping, shh, don't talk about that. August 24th, Johannesburg. The BRICS bloc of developing nations agreed. BRICS welcomes new members in push to reshuffle world order. These are scary words. So what is this thing that I don't even know anything about that's going to change the whole world? And how could I not know about it? BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and what's the S? Like Argentina or something? Or South Africa. According to Investopedia and according to everybody, including China, what BRICS is a formation against the Western world. It is a G20 except for 5, 6, 7, now 10, 12 different nations that include China, Russia, Brazil, Brazil B, BRICS, R is the Russia part. Brazil just recently decided to cancel all their contracts with America to install their 5G network. Instead, you know who they chose? Huawei. And then what ends up happening is Huawei's chairman's daughter gets imported, not deported, but then caught by customs in Canada. It's all connected, guys. Instead of BRICS, Brazil using 5G from Qualcomm, which is America based in San Diego, California, woohoo, they decided to go with Huawei. And so Brazil, the B in BRICS, is on America's shit list. R, obviously, Russia. R in BRICS is Russia, and Russia is obviously an American shit list. Everyone knows that there's a proxy war that America... Now it makes sense as to why America is paying the Ukraine so much money to keep fighting Russia and supplying the Ukraine with all this power. Does America care about Ukrainians? No. What they're trying to do is make it really hard for Russia to cooperate with China. But it's backfiring because it's the stupidest plan in the world where you galvanize the BRICS. All you're doing is making the BRICS union stronger when you have an economic technological war with Brazil, BRICS, B, and then you're actually fighting a war in the Ukraine with Russia, BRICS, R. And then India now, America's on India's shit list, and India's on America's shit list because have you noticed that recently there was a meeting with Biden and Modi where Biden just, after talking, he just walks right off the stage without even shaking Modi's hand, and everyone says, "Oh, Biden's senile. He didn't shake the Prime Minister of India's hand." It was actually intentional. This he did intentionally. This is an FU. To YouTube censors me a lot, so this is an FU to India. C, China. Oh man, China has always been a problem, but guess what China recently did? China recently decided, hey, let's bring somebody else into the picture. Oof, this is bad. This is really bad. Oh, before I get too far into this, let me retrace and summarize this real quick about what BRICS is so you have it in your head really, really strong. Here it is. This is BRICS. The bottom line on BRICS, BRICS is an informal grouping of emerging markets countries that seeks to establish deeper ties between their nations and cooperate on economic expansion, including trade. The countries act as a balance against traditional Western influence. seeking to depend on each other for growing influence in the world. For growing influence in the world, which means less influence for America. Ooh, you know what's funny about this? You know what's really weird and like deep statey? Is this. BRICS was actually created by Goldman Sachs. Can you believe that? For Brazil, Russia, India, and China, under the belief that these economies would dominate global growth by 2050? What? And it offered a source of foreign expansion. Literally, what they were trying to do is get American corporations to expand into these countries. So if major American corporations expanded into Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and then remember what happened during the Ovid thing, where a bunch of American corporations, including Starbucks and like McDonald's, left Russia? Remember that? Why would a bunch of American corporations leave Russia a couple years ago? That was why. Now I'm going to explain to you what China did that really pissed off America, and then it's going to start pointing to why the American stock market is going to dump, but crypto is going to pump alone. You just saw this yesterday. Hamas attack on Israel has 50-year-old war connection. There was a war in 1973, and this was the anniversary of that war, and Hamas, Iran, the Palestinians are taking revenge on Israel. I mean, there's a whole bunch of really gruesome and gory pictures of women literally being abducted, murdered, and raped in Israel near the Gaza Strip. But I'm not going to go into that because, again, censorship. YouTube. Now that you know what's happening, let me tell you why it's happening. Okay, it's this one. This is about the BRICS meeting just a month ago, literally just a month ago. It says, here, I'll read this to you. During the BRICS summit, during the meeting, Xi Jinping conveyed that China is ready to consolidate its friendship with Iran. Hamas attack on Israel has 50-year-old connection, and it just happened yesterday. This just happened last month. China is ready to consolidate its friendship with Iran, deepen mutual trust, continue to support each other on issues concerning respective core interests, and push for more progress in the China-Iran Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. In fact, among the 6 newly invited nations, the addition of Iran could hold a unique significance. Corbus von Staden, a researcher with China Global South Project, told the New York Times, Iran obviously is a complicated choice. I can imagine that some of the other members worry that it might increase global political tensions with Western powers. Oh my God. This concern holds merit. During this meeting with Xi Jinping, Iran's president Raisi said Iran's membership in the bloc is opposition to American unilateralism. Oh my God. Direct, straight up opposition to American unilateralism. And what does Biden do last month? He sends like $1 billion to Iran last month. What is going on here? I'll explain it to you, and why this is going to make American stocks dump while crypto pumps on its own and alone. All right, you can't start a war unless you have global support for that war. You cannot start a war without global support. Why? Why can't you? You just get pissed off and, well, can't you take revenge on the country that pisses you off if you're like America? No, you can't, because there are like moral people around the whole world that say, you know, let's just ban American product. I'm going to do a consumer level ban. I'm not going to buy anything American, you see, because I don't agree with America, what they're doing in Iran or what they're doing in these human rights atrocities or whatever. I don't agree with that, so I'm just going to not buy Ford anymore. I'm just not. And then what ends up happening is all the investors that are multi-billionaires in Ford decide not to back your campaign fund for your next election. Ta-da! So what you have to do, what Biden did, or what Biden, I don't even think he was conscious of any of this. Probably his people or the people controlling him, his puppet masters. What they did was they sent up, I think it was about $1 billion or more to Iran last month. Emboldens Iran. And what Iran does is has a bunch of drones, has a bunch of like paragliding things and boats, and they just simultaneously, on the 50th anniversary of the 1973 war with Israel, they decide, hey, I'm just going to remind you that we're still at war. And they start attacking Israel and killing and raping innocent people. But hey, this is awesome because America actually paid for a lot of these weapons and troops to go over into. Now, America can hold an actual military war, but some of these countries, which is interestingly enough, can't afford drones. They can't afford military flak jackets. They can't afford ammunition. So what do they have to do to fight back? I'm going to show you these countries and you're going to know exactly what they're doing. It's going to come from this screen. Johannesburg on August 24th, they decided to admit, okay, I'll just read it. The BRICS bloc of developing nations agreed on Thursday to admit Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, Egypt, Argentina like South America, and United Arab Emirates, UAE. We're going to touch on this and this is big. And this is the part that starts getting related to crypto. In a move aimed at accelerating its push to reshuffle the world order. Again, world order it sees as outdated. World order. America is the world order king. Outdated. You've seen this picture. Entering your country. Bam. Egyptian billionaire wants to buy island for refugees. These are the refugees that are entering your country right now from Egypt, from Ethiopia, from Argentina, from Central America, from Iran, from Saudi Arabia, from all the Middle Eastern countries, from North Africa. So while America, England, Canada are actually firing down real weapons on countries like Russia through the Ukraine, or in South America with these little guerrilla missions that they have the Green Berets do, that they have government contractors do, former military guys and military. What do you call those guys? Anyway, the contractors that used to be former military. They have these guys do actual wars and then these guys in retaliation send their actual people, send their actual men to these countries like Finland, like Sweden, where all of a sudden the number of rapes in Sweden just skyrocket. The number of rapes in Canada just skyrocket. Spain, France. This is a war. It just doesn't look like the war that you're used to seeing. Okay, so if there is going to be this war that just keeps accelerating, and there is a war right now, but it's just going to keep growing and getting worse and worse, the American stock market, I can see it dumping, okay, except for military stocks, I suppose. But why would crypto keep pumping? This is where we go back to the United Arab Emirates, UAE. You notice that all the big crypto guys are moving to the UAE? And then guys like Suzu, or the 3 Arrows Capital guy gets arrested because he was in Singapore. He wouldn't have got arrested in Dubai, which is interesting. I'm going to show you why. I sound like Doug DeMuro. All the quirks and features. Anyway, look. Can you see this okay? I'm going to have to flip this video, but I'm going to show you this. This is the share of response. This is how the number of the countries that have the most crypto. Just the number of countries that have the most crypto. 2024 is not, 2023 isn't done yet, but 2023 is different. But this list at least gives you an interesting indication of what's happening. Nigeria. Anyway, we're gonna skip Nigeria for a second. There's a lot of fraud that goes on there. So, okay, Thailand, understandable. Turkey, Argentina. Wait. Argentina is okay. Hold on. As of 2022, is the 4th largest holder of crypto. Right here. This is Argentina. Right there. 4th largest holder of crypto. In Argentina, didn't I see Argentina somewhere before? Argentina. Argentina, BRICS. United Arab Emirates, interesting. Didn't I see United Arab Emirates somewhere? United Arab Emirates. Philippines, we know. Vietnam is probably going to be included in BRICS, to be honest with you. Singapore, interesting, Singapore. South Africa. Didn't I see South Africa somewhere before? Now this one is going to literally knock your socks off. Expansion and a common currency on agenda at BRICS summit. Leaders of some of the developing world's Muslim return to mainstays of South Africa, a day after speech by Russia. Putin giving anti-Western tinge officials has been hoping to avoid. Look at these guys. Wait a second. Aren't these all the guys that... Yeah, these are all of America's newest enemies. Even this guy, which is, oh my, even India. But you notice how they keep meeting in South Africa? There's a reason why. It's because South Africa is the S in BRICS. Now let's get back to this list. And B is the B in BRICS. I is the I in BRICS. And these guys are the top 10 holders of crypto in the whole world. While they're trying to come up with a, come on, unified common currency. Guess what's next on the list? Guess what's down here? Let's go back to this screen. As of a couple years ago, the United Arab Emirates was about the 4th or 5th largest holder of crypto in the whole world. Now, you want to know what it is now? It is now number 1 in the whole world for largest holder. You know how there was a meme going on about sheiks, like Iranian, Middle Eastern sheiks buying crypto? That's actually finally happened. As Johannesburg, August 24th, just last month, UAE is in a move to aim to accelerating its push to reshuffle the world order as it sees outdated. United Arab Emirates is agreed to be included in BRICS. So this is what all the fighting is about. Will the BRICS be the leaders in central bank digital currencies? Did you get the big picture now? What they're doing is, while the central bank is trying to create its own digital currency that is number 1 in the world, leaving the American standard, the American dollar standard behind, because America's too unruly, especially with guys like Trump, not trying to follow the central banker's whims and wishes, not being a slave to the central banker. So the central bank is deciding, hey, let's just come up with our own central currency. But since BRICS exists, and BRICS is saying, wait a second, why don't we create our own central currency? Or should we just dominate the central bank? Should we just take over and become the masters of the central bank digital currency? Or should we create our own currency? But while that's happening, and while all this warring is in all the store closures, have you seen Beverly Hills? Have you seen New York City? Have you seen Times Square? Have you seen Champs-Élysées? All the major American, French, Italian, all the major Western corporations, all the Western corporations are going bankrupt. They're closing all their retail stores. Why? Because of immigrants and migrants and refugees from these actual countries: Egypt, Ethiopia, North Africa. While the BRICS countries are trying to figure out how to take this opportunity and replace the US dollar. Should we do it with the Chinese yuan? Some countries are okay with that, some countries aren't. Russia wants to use Russian money. Russia wants to use Russian digital money. So everyone's got a different opinion as to which currencies to use. Meanwhile, guess what currency is out there? Satoshi Nakamoto's. This is the long story and the big background as to why American stocks, because of war, are going to dump. But because of United Arab Emirates being the latest edition, being the number 1 holder of crypto in the world, is just going to keep buying and making crypto go up and pump and pump and pump, at least for the next year or two, until they figure out some way to replace crypto with their own central bank digital currency, with their own BRICS bank digital currency. Or why would you have to create something new if you already own most of the Bitcoins in the world? This is why crypto is going to pump alone without the US stocks, and US stocks are going to dump. Now, this might sound exciting and just wonderful and everything, but guess what's going to happen now? Crypto is going to be the enemy of the West. So if you live in the West, you see why all your banks have been getting shut down and all your bank accounts have been getting shut down? It sucks that nobody tells you this stuff so you can get used to this. Oh, maybe you should subscribe to my channel. I'm going to tell you when to buy. I'm going to tell you when to sell. And if you want precise trading signals, join me at bitcoin-signals.org. If anything changes, for free updates, I'm always on Twitter. OTC_Bitcoin, which is now x.com/OTC_Bitcoin. Let's get you rich.